Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Joelle, and today we have a very, very special guest here.
Hello, Joelle. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, it's nice having you here. So, what do you do? What
What do
brings
I
you
do?
here?
Well, thank you. So, like I said, my name is Carmen Nieves, and I own a small community engagement consulting company right here in Bridgeport, and we believe that involved citizens can make a difference in the community. So as I mentioned to you before we started the show, I also have a show here on Soundview Community
Oh, what's it
Media
called?
TV. It's called Connecticut at Your Service, and it's all about really featuring businesses that are making a difference in the community. And we are going on our 100th episode.
Oh, that's awesome. What business would you say made the biggest difference?
I will tell you who had the biggest, right? Because the show that we tape goes on YouTube, it goes on our website, it goes on Soundview TV Live. And it was a young lady by the name of Jaden. And she was the head of a manufacturing young business groups. The same day that she was on the show, she had like 100 hits, 100 views on her show. So
Oh, that's awesome.
young people is definitely the key to making our community. And she had a good following, so we had like 100 views that same day.
That's awesome. What made you want to start finding people who are making a difference in the community?
What a great question. I think as small businesses, people expect a lot of us, but they don't know who we are, right? So I just became really impressed by the things that businesses were doing outside of their business, right? So we had somebody that was like a restaurant owner, and it turns out that this individual used to be homeless. So for him, giving back to the community was really important. And so he would like give away he would give away food and things like that for people that would ask. And he was like, we're giving away so much food that we're not making money. So we came in and did a consultation, and we're like, not that he was getting mad, he saw that there was a need, but small businesses all need to make money. Mm-hmm. So I went in and I was like, you know what, why don't you do it like a pay it forward? So if somebody is buying a meal and lets you keep the change, or will buy somebody food and you pay it forward. So that person gets food and you get money for giving a meal. And he loved the idea. And it was as simple as making him a sign that he hung on his store. So it's really about, as a community, taking a look at things and finding solutions for like everyday, like common problems.
That's a beautiful thing. When did you start doing this whole thing?
So as I mentioned to you before we came on the show, I'm also a graduate of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, mm-hmm. and I thought that I was going to go into radio. And I happened to stumble onto Soundview. A friend of mine, Ricky, works here, and I was telling him that I had just graduated. I was trying to interview him. He said to me, we have a show, that we're looking for a host. And I spoke to the team here. I opted not to go with the show, but because I had proposed my own. And it's been 2 years since we've been doing the show. And I wanted to entertain, because I tend to think I'm funny. I'm not always funny, but I like to think I'm funny. So it was just a great way to give back to my community and highlight people who are unsung everyday heroes.
Do you think it was hard starting your show?
What a great question. So I don't think it was hard, but there are things that anybody with a show has to consider, right? So one is, who's going to be your team? Who's going to work your camera? Who's going to work your mics? Who's going to make sure that they tell you only have 2 minutes left, because I always run out of time. Your guests, lining up a bunch of guests in case somebody cancels or somebody's running late, or what's on your backup queue, making sure that you get here on time so that you have some time with the guests to kind of talk to them and say, listen, tell me about you, and then kind of really good conversations formulate from that, and then those become my leading questions when they come on the show. So I love it, and I'm a people person. I don't do too good by myself.
Was it something in school that made you want to start doing your own show? Like, was it something that you saw?
And people that knew me,
just...
because I came from a small family, well, people would say a big family, but to me it felt small, because we didn't go anywhere without our parents. Mm-hmm. We went to the corner store, everybody got in the car and went, because we didn't get left behind anywhere. So I really didn't participate really anything in school. I was married, pregnant, and a dropout at 17. So I went back to school and got my GED. Like, if I had went to school at the same time as I would have graduated, but it wasn't the same. I was able to go to college and everything, but it's not the same, right? Because they don't have no high school reunion.
Yeah.
Reunion. No GED graduation reunion. So it wasn't the same, but my college years were really good, and I just got interested in something with TV and with media, and then I ended up at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Did you meet anybody in college that is still on your team today, or that you would say made a big impact?
That is such a great question. I have this philosophy that says that people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And there's definitely, I think I have friends that I've had for more than 20, maybe 30 years. Margie, you're one of them. And my friend Sandra for many, many, many years. And there's people that we don't see each other for months, and then we get on the phone and we're on the phone for like an hour. Like, we never dropped off. And there's people that you go to them when you need them, and then people that help you achieve something, and then they move on. You move on, they move on. So I think that the biggest thing that's the most important thing to me is family. Family, and me personally be able to give back to my community. So those are the things that are family and community are the two biggest things for me.
Were there times where you felt like you weren't able to do enough for your community?
I think, so the answer to that is yes, right? As I mentioned to you before the show, that I have faced some loss in my family, and trying to figure out how can you help your family process grief and loss in a way that's positive, and not having enough money to do that. Like, if we wanted to make something or build something or commemorate in some kind of way, and not have people take that as you're trying to profit off of it. So there's a fine line, but people that understand you and get what you're trying to get at, they understand it. And those are the people that matter to me. And in sharing our story, we've opened up the opportunity for other families to share theirs. So I'm really, really proud of the work that we're doing, and I can't wait to take it to the next level.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. Have you ever worked anywhere that you would say made it difficult for you to help in a way that you want?
I would say yes and no. So currently, my day job is in a youth program, and we help young people get jobs. And what happens is that, ever since COVID, like, people weren't around people all the time. So some youth have never gotten true job experience or not job ready. We place some students in construction work. Well, they're not used to standing outside, or that it's hot, or that you have to lift heavy things. So I think what's been hard about that work is that all the people that come needing help, you can't help. But half of that is because they're not helping themselves. So I think that most employers say that they just want somebody who is willing. Show up every day, show up on time. Tell me that you want it, because I don't need you to be able to run my job. I need you to understand it enough to be able for me to teach you to do it the way we do it. Just enough knowledge. And I have a lot of companies that want to give somebody a chance. but sometimes people aren't ready. Transportation, a lot of youth, you wouldn't believe how many do not know how to ride the bus. They get, rides and things like that from families. So that's a factor too, because you can't take the bus to be at a 7:30 job. So there's a lot of different things, but I will tell you, attitude is everything. Being willing, being open to learn, so when people are kind of set in their ways, sometimes that's hard, but anybody that shows me that they're willing to at least meet me a quarter of the way, I will help them. But you got to give me some to be able to get some. You know what I mean? Because all I have to do is to send to an employer somebody that didn't work out, and they don't want nobody else back. That one person will ruin it for whoever comes after. So it's really important that communication is important between the participant, with the company, and sometimes with their parents too. Because sometimes where they go to work, there's no store for them to get lunch. So they've got to prepare and bring lunch. You know what I mean? In other words, they'll take a 15-minute break and be gone a half hour because the store wasn't closed. So I think that has been the hardest thing, that there aren't. There's a lot of jobs right now, a lot of jobs. But people don't want to work those jobs, but I'm here and I'm ready to help.
Well, have you ever wanted to take your show or your, business to different places, like around the U.S.?
One of the things that I would love, especially, there's so much opportunity here at Soundview, that I would just love to have a street team. And, because not everybody can get in the studio. So it'd be really great to be able to go to them. Like, you ever seen when they do a parade? Like the Thanksgiving Day parade, and they have these booths, and in the booth they have the anchor talking about who's going by. I would love that. I'm not as cute as you are, but I would love that. Just to be able to go to the community and talk to the people and see what they think and what they love and what they want. I think that that's really important.
Well, you don't have to be cute to go and help people, so.
Give me 5 for that. That was a good answer. That's true. That's true.
As long as you're doing your best to go and help the people that are out there, that's all you have to worry about.
I meant to be an anchor. If you're like me that has a broken tooth or whatever, you never know. So I think a lot of that is how you feel about yourself too. If you feel very confident, if you think you're funny. I like to interview the people that are interesting to me on my show. And I've met so many people within the community that I think we've maybe had 3 or 4 repeat guests. Everybody else is a brand new guest every week. And I'm pretty proud of that. And I usually will have a standard set of questions. So even if the conversation is not flowing, I can always ask them one of my ready questions, So.
Well, what's your favorite ready question to use?
What's next? That's my one favorite, that one. And then who has inspired you? Because a lot of people that do give back to the community is usually somebody that has a heart for it. They have a heart for it, or they went through something that made them want to give back. Or the guest that I had on last week, her name is April Jackson. And she started, she was a sports athlete, and then she was doing this youth, entrepreneurial program, and now she has her own facility that she runs programs out of.
Oh, that's a beautiful
and
thing.
it's great, and it started from her because her mother made her feel like she was limitless. Anything she wanted to do, she could do. So, therefore she did.
Yeah, your imagination is your limit. Well, I'm gonna go and steal one of your ready questions and ask you, what do you want to be your next, besides, being a news anchor kind of thing?
I would like to, and this is honest, to be able to quit my day job to follow my passion and helping other people with grief and loss. I'm not where I can do that, but there's definitely something to that. And this guest that I was telling you about from last week, she said, I have ideas, but God has plans. And I was like, I remember when I heard that, I almost cried, because it's like you could be in your mind if you believe in what your destiny is. That even if you don't know it, it's written, right? So I thought that was very impactful for me, because I think you have to help things along. Like, say what you want, align yourself with people that can help you move on, and then you bring good things to you by willing them, so, and then I would love to have my family work with me so that we could be like a legacy business, because I have grandchildren that I would love for them to work with me. And I've already started to do some of that, and they're not old enough yet. Like, my oldest is, Lily's 16, and then Isaiah, who would be next, is 10, and Isaiah helps me more, but he's only 10. So we find ways to kind of like do some things together. So to have my family work with me, I think, is my next thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So, I'm not really sure what to ask you next.
How about you? You're hosting the show. How about you?
For me, I just want to live and not have to worry, to be honest with you. I want to be able to talk about me and live happily ever after.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's kind of dream. But I remember, because we were chatting right before, and you were talking about that you wanted to, like, the theme of the podcast you wanted to do. I think that's really great to share. You should share it.
Well, for my podcast, I wanted to do a little horror story at like 12, because I have a hard time sleeping at night. So I wanted to have a little horror session, like 15 minutes or longer, depends. And just, or just talk about my life, do vlogs,
Vlogs?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Anything that has me talk
log,
about.
Right? Video log, that's a vlog.
Yeah, just talk about me.
How about your family?
My family is huge. We have like 8 people, I think 9 right now, actually living in the house. They're very loud. So at my old job, when I was working there, it was like super easy for me to do that job because of how loud my siblings are. I had my coworkers coming up to me and they were asking, "How are you so calm all the time?" It's because of how many siblings I have. So I'm not going to complain that, I have like 50 siblings, but
you got to have good stories, right?
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier for me to just do different things. So like if I want to work with kids again, or if I want to, just if I have to deal with different kinds of people, I have different kinds of people in the house. So I can kind of get that experience in a way. And I'm also taking care of my cat, so it's like having a baby.
Are you a pet? They're having a baby?
No, it's like having a baby though. Having my cat, she threw a bug on me today. So.
They are like babies.
They are.
Not that I don't like animals, I don't want to have to take care of animals because I'm so busy.
Yeah, I get that.
My granddaughter their family has 2 dogs, and then my grandson has a cat.
If you could have any pet in the world that won't harm you in any way, what pet would it be?
I absolutely do not know, but it's just that any pet takes a lot to take care of. I haven't been able to hang on to goldfish because they last for a little while and then they pass away. I'm not good with plants, right? I have to get some of those that is really, really hard to be able to have, but I like them. An animal.
What would you say is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal. I would say, so this is not the right thing because I am kind of scared of them, but I like the concept of bees. Because they bring honey, they're workers, they go, from place to place. Some sting, some don't. But for the company that I was telling you that we make the benches, so our workspace is called the Hive. And then our volunteers or workers or whatever you want, there are worker bees. So bees are kind of like a big kind of thing, and it's also within our logo because, I feel that one of my girlfriends told me a story that always stuck with me because I'm less scared of bumblebees, and bumblebees are bigger. But there's a philosophy that says that bumblebees should not be able to fly because their wings are too small in comparison to their body, but yet they still fly. So it's almost like, I was telling you that I was married, pregnant, and a dropout at 17. So I feel like that bumblebee, like, you can't stop me. Like, I shouldn't be able to do all the things I have achieved in my life, but I have. And I will tell you that having somebody in your corner is probably the most important thing ever. And I'm so grateful to my husband because he's not your typical Latin male from back in the day. We have all daughters, so he's just an absolute like champion about girl power, and he's the only man in our house right now, except for when our grandkids are there. I think having whoever your partner is, whoever that is, it could be your mom, your dad, somebody you love, a brother and sister, doesn't matter. Somebody rooting you on is probably the most priceless person you can have because sometimes when you believe you can't, they do, and that's enough to keep you standing, So I'm grateful for all the people I've met in my life that have helped me in some kind of way. Have you ever had somebody like that? A teacher, a friend, one of your siblings? That's a really good question.
Probably my dog, honestly, because he passed away recently. But
God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, but he would,
So you had two, and now you have one?
Yeah, we have two cats now, but.
Oh, okay. But so I'm so sorry.
It's okay. He's somewhere better, but when he was in his last days, he would still, try to walk up to us and still try to cuddle with us, make us feel better, even though he was still struggling.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. So I think having somebody who, like, I don't know, is just kind of there to, I guess, comfort you.
Comfort you. You can live for them. Something bigger than you.
Yeah, someone who's pushing you while you're pushing them to keep doing better.
Motivating you, right?
Yeah. It's a good group of people to have around if you do have, somebody to motivate you.
So how long you been doing your show?
I don't have a show besides
here,
this
right?
one.
You guys are doing some work here.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here?
That's a good question. A couple of weeks.
Okay. Not the same as 2 years, but you're getting there, right?
Yeah, I gotta start somewhere.
What's your favorite thing so far?
The podcast. I do like doing the show, and last week we did some ads, so that was fun.
Okay,
but I like doing the podcast. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while.
So that's something that you might be pursuing? Okay. What about your team? Do you have a team so far yet from the other students that are here?
Like a team that's gonna be with my podcast
or
permanently.
like that you guys might want to collaborate, because sometimes you don't know what you want to do. You're just saying, I want to do a podcast, and then somebody says, oh yeah, well, me too, and then you start a conversation, and next thing you know, you guys have a project going.
Yeah, I don't know right now. I don't want to plan anything and then it just doesn't work out.
You can bring your own team too. Anything is possible. What's your favorite thing about the podcast room?
It's very quiet. The headphones are really nice. They're really
I like
very
the stage,
quiet.
like where it has you could have 5 people around the table, and there's a camera in there too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
So yeah, because I remember when Jose, who was part of the crew here, when he was doing his, they actually had somebody that was doing a live feed, And then they had where people could ask questions, like on Facebook or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
we still have
and
that.
they would answer it, like they would ask it of the guests on the show. We can't do that on my show. We have a live call-in, so people can call in, but it's not like you could see somebody read it. Like if they don't call in, then we don't have we don't have a question. So we have to kind of like keep rolling with it.
Yeah, we still have that on the podcast room. We have
It's
like
fun.
50 cameras in there.
I love it. And the teleprompter, did you see the teleprompter in there?
I don't think I did.
So it's like a machine that looks like an open like that. And then it has like a mirror. It's right next to the round table, but that's like, you ever seen when people are on the news? So like me, I kind of go off the top. Some people like to have things written, but this one has where what you're gonna say goes on the machine, and then it comes on that, and then you read it.
Those would be so useful.
Listen, I have a paper and I try to read it, and if it's not really big print, I lose where I was reading.
I do the same thing.
So there's like a lot of like really cute like little tricks that you can learn to kind of do that. And I think once you do like a whole bunch of shows, then it starts becoming like even flow. Like I really liked how you were like, hello, 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 and this is your host. I thought that was really great and fun.
What is your dream item, or just, anything to have? What's something you want to buy the most right now?
What I would want to buy the most right now is probably something for my girls. Like, I always had this dream, which I don't know if it'll happen in this lifetime, but I always had this dream that we lived on a cul-de-sac, because my girls are all grown, so they don't want to be in my house. So I would love us to live like in a cul-de-sac, and then they each have their own house, and we have like a shared pool and like gated community with just like us, where they could like play basketball or whatever.
I would have loved to do that.
Like my husband and I, like, we're all about our girls and our grandkids, like we just love that. Like they sleep over all the time, and I go and I visit, or I have a 3 family, so 2 of them live in my house, so it's always fun.
Yeah. I noticed you have some dream catchers on your ears, so.
I know. I'm trying to catch them, as I'm telling you, I'm trying to catch them.
What, do they have a meaning, like a specific meaning to you?
No, they just match my shirt, so I thought it was cute. But I'm glad you caught that.
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what to say. So that's our show. It's all the time we have here today. Thank you for watching. Hope to see y'all next week. And have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was great having you here.
I wish you so much luck with your podcast and your dreams and all of that. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Well, it was nice having you here.